Hey, this is Leon Poe, man. You listening to Causeway Street Podcast.
What's up, y'all? This is Kenny Anderson. Y'all listen to the Causeway Street Podcast.
For all you new listeners out there, I'm your host, Josue Pavone. I'm joined as usual by my two co-hosts.
I'm Sean Dutra. What's up?
Yeah,
like
talk
long
about
walks
yourself.
on the bee.
There you go. Joel Pavone. What up?
I'm a Pisces. The most romantic.
It leads off with that.
The most romantic sign in all of the zodiac.
Oh,
If you couldn't tell by my voice already.
oh,
Sexy.
But I'm the producer of this ensemble that we call Causeway Street. In case you missed it.
Hey, Bill Walton here, Celtics 1986. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Yeah, come here for nothing but the truth. This is where dreams come true. Thank you, Boston, for my life.
where are we going?
You guys are such homers.
It's your boy Terry Rozier. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Now listen to my boys Joe, Sway, Joel, and Sean.
Someday, I wanna lay down like God did on Sunday.
I told you this is going to happen, bro. I told you LeBron James to the Boston Celtics was going to be the talk around here up until free agency. And here we are. Instead of talking about the NBA Finals and talking about the Cavs getting swept, this is what we're talking about. LeBron James in green and white.
Oh, I thought you were talking about congratulating the Golden State Warriors on their 3-game sweep of the NBA Finals.
That's right. You called that.
I did, man.
So is Cleveland going to show up or no?
Survey says.
Yes, they're obviously going to show up. But are they going to show up on the court though? That's the question.
Nah.
Is Ronnie Hood the guy?
savior?
Is Ronnie Hood going to drop 20?
Everyone's acting, especially the Cleveland fans, are all acting like Tyronn Lue discovered him and an egg underneath the fucking arena, and they're like, "Look what I found!
It's like
It's Simba.
it's like you had him all along.
He's been chilling on your bench, guy.
What were you waiting for? Somebody called you out on not playing him,
Like-
and you've benched him ever since.
I'm waiting for Rafiki to come out and be like, it is time.
It's
Like,
time. Well, if it's not him, it better be somebody, because otherwise, this thing is going to be wrapped up tonight. But we'll talk more about that in this edition of the Causeway Street Podcast. Of course, this is the NBA Finals edition. We always have one of these episodes. And it's funny because ever since we started this podcast 4 years ago, we've had the same two teams playing against each other. Same two teams. So
Would you look at that?
yeah. So you know what? It's only fitting that we have our co-host join us on the phone to talk about not only this series, well, maybe a little bit about this series. I'm sure he doesn't have a lot to say, but we'll talk about LeBron James, the possibility of him coming to Boston, what Stephen A. Smith had to say about it,
Oh, he's ecstatic about this one.
and
Stephen A.
we'll
Or
also
guest.
get into what play-by-play announcer Mike Gorman had to say about the possibility of the Celtics actually trading Kyrie Irving. We'll get more into
Can't
that.
make this stuff up, guys.
No.
You really can't.
This is the
It's the offseason.
this is the beginning of the offseason, okay? Wacky stories. This is what it's all about right here. This is how we start off
Like
the
the last-
offseason for the Celtics, man. This is when the NBA Finals isn't entertaining whatsoever. This is what you get. You get an early edition of these reports.
The last few off seasons, it's been the draft. What is Celtics going to do in the draft? Who are they going to trade for? Who are this
Right.
and that and the other thing? You would expect this offseason because of the run that they had. You're like, okay, it's not going to be a crazy offseason. But no, it's still going to be a crazy offseason for the Celtics because it's like, are they going to do something? They're not going to do something? Who knows? Only Danny knows.
Sometimes I think Danny puts out these reports just to get everybody going, just to get other teams thinking and calling them up and trying to strike a deal. And then that's when he comes in and trades for Kyrie Irving. Like, that's what we saw last year. That's exactly what happened. Like, the last thing people expected was for him to do that. Everyone was talking about Jimmy Butler. Everybody talking about Paul George.
so late
and
in the
then
offseason,
boom,
it was so
Kyrie
late.
Irving.
Late, right before training camp. Bam.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck your whole world up.
So we'll see what happens, obviously. But in the meantime, all we can do is talk about these reports, our opinions, of course, what we do here on the Causeway Street Podcast. Let's get right into it. LeBron James, would you like to see him in a Celtics uniform? And to kick things off is Sean Dutra, who I know probably has a very entertaining response to this topic, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say, because we've actually kept it fresh. You know, we didn't really get into it in our group text. All we said was, we can't wait to see what Sean has to say about this. We told Sean to save it because he had to bite his tongue because he was about to go off on the group text when it came to LeBron James going to the Celtics talk.
He was afraid. Papa Ducha was afraid that he had been designated for assignment. But we're like, nah, man, we're gonna pull you off waivers. And you're back on the squad.
Guest appearance. What's up, Sean Dutra? Joining us right now on the phone. What up, Sean? Papa Dutra. I like it.
What's up? What's going on? No.
Papa Dutra.
Let me clear some of the air here. I'm not designated for assignment, man. I've been exploring my free agent options over here. Okay, I've been messing around with a couple other podcasts here and there.
We still own your contract, bro. We still own your rights. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, renegotiating some contracts over here, man. I'm good.
Have you even been listening to us? Sean's like, I refuse to listen to those clowns. I'll wait till they invite me back on.
I'm taking my talents to Bleacher Report.
Oh man,
I think you're gonna go to the starters and help them out a little bit.
Yeah, you never know.
Sean Dutra on TV.
Come on.
That'd be great TV.
Dutra,
Sean on TV.
Dutra and that Australian dude, that'd be great TV.
Oh man, both beards going too. Wait, is he the one with the beard?
He's one of the ones with the beard. Like
They pretty much all have beards.
Yeah. Sean would fit right in with the beards.
Yeah, he would. All right, Sean. So let's get right into it. I mean, LeBron James to the Celtics. If you're Danny Ainge,
there's no one more excited than Dutra.
Do you look into making space for it? Do you pass? Like, which side of the fence are you on this? I kind of have a feeling you're on one side, but let me hear your reason behind it.
So what do you guys fucking think? Like what is this? This is the most ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous off-season story I've ever heard since I don't even know, man. Like there's literally been nothing more ridiculous that's compared to LeBron James, LeBron motherfucking James coming to Boston. There's no fucking chance this is happening. Absolutely no chance. And you know what? Stephen A. Smith can talk about it all he wants and just, you know why? It's easy. It's an easy thing to say because you look at Kevin Durant and he lost to the Warriors and they're the up-and-coming team and LeBron may do the same thing. No, LeBron is not welcome in Boston. And I don't care. I was talking to somebody today about this. Like, seriously? There's not a more hated athlete that I have ever had in my entire life. I would have rather seen A-Rod on the Red Sox. I would rather see Peyton Manning on a Patriots uniform. I would rather see friggin' Matt Cook in a Bruins uniform. No, I don't want LeBron James to ever even think there's a possibility of coming to the Celtics. I don't...
All right, okay. All right.
No.
Hold on. Easy.
Hold on. Let's refresh everyone. All right, let's refresh. All right. Let's refresh everyone's memory here, okay? Last episode of the podcast, and I really thought this would be more in case you missed the material, more than
I told
a
you,
20-minute segment.
I told you. Here we are, episode 2, talking about this shit.
Antoine Walker brought.
No, he started this shit.
He started. Yeah, he had another hot take, quote unquote, about where LeBron should consider going next season. The whole season it's been the Lakers. And then later on, it was Philadelphia. And right after the Rockets got eliminated, it was like, oh, whoa, well, maybe Houston would be a good spot for him. And Antoine said, no, none of those teams. Boston should be the team that LeBron James should consider. He should hit up the Celtics and pull off a sort of Kevin Durant-ish kind of thing, even though he beat the Celtics.
No, and he even said, too, he said, if I'm him, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
You know, he put himself in his shoes and said that Boston is his best, opportunity to compete for a championship.
All right, so fast forward a week later, and Stephen A., in classic Stephen A. form, because he's got so many sources, he's got so many guys in the biz, and he brought up that LeBron will be talking or having a conversation with several teams, including Houston, the Lakers, Philadelphia. He also, obviously, he said Cleveland, and then the last team he said was the Celtics. So since then, social media has gone completely bananas. Completely forgot or could have gave two shits about what Antoine said, but because Stephen A. put the Celtics and LeBron in the same sentence, everyone's flipping their shit. Now, here on the Causeway Street podcast, we kind of talked about it, and we don't see it happening for a couple of reasons. One, it will take a lot to clear space to even make room for him.
No.
That's one. Hold on. Number 2.
Hold on. We'll get to you right after.
Breaking it down way too scientifically.
No, but listen. Okay, hold on. Just listen to my second point. So you would have to move either Kyrie. Well, one, because they don't get along, and that's the reason why he wanted to leave Cleveland anyways.
Yeah, there's no way those two, like we said last week, there's no way those two can do this again.
So the top 3 salaries on the Celtics right now is Kyrie, Al Horford, Gordon Hayward. You got to move one of those 3 and more. But
how about we actually see them play a fucking game together?
Exactly.
Yes. So we stop breaking that shit up.
Yeah. So then
besides the first 5 minutes, and not to mention the fact that, let's face it, Gordon Hayward, there isn't much of a trade value right now because of what happened last season.
So you got that part of it. The second thing I was going to say is as great as LeBron is, right? Basketball wise, because everything else, that's sort of not here or there, but he's going to be 34 next season. And everyone's trying to predict when he's going to fall off this cliff. How much can you depend on his body? This, that, and the other thing. Why would you want to kind of break up this core for maybe a year or two of like LeBron right now?
Yeah, I think
like you're kind of sacrificing the future just for maybe one championship.
Oh, you're absolutely sacrificing the future. Yeah,
I don't even think you're sacrificing the future. Really, I mean, you're not going to give up Jaylen Brown. You're not going to give up Jason Tatum. You can keep Rozier if you get rid of somebody else, right? Whatever. Like, that part doesn't... I just think, like, you have the best coach in the league right now. You really want Coach LeBron coming in and just making Brad Stevens just an afterthought?
Well, the reason I say sacrificing the future is that those guys are obviously not going to get the same kind of touches if LeBron James comes to town. And not to mention the fact that they're not put in the same position, whereas LeBron James constantly has the ball in his hands. He's constantly like the point forward out there. Like, right. And I just feel like you're sort of cutting those guys short, And
you know what? You actually made me onto something too. Now I'm thinking about it. Because if LeBron comes here, he's not going to want a guy like Jason Tatum behind him on the bench. He's going to probably demand that Danny Ainge trade Jason Tatum. So this thing is a bust from the start, guys. The fact that it has made its way from Antoine Walker, probably a little bit tipsy, talking about LeBron James, to Stephen A. Smith, just probably the same thing, a little tipsy, talking about trying to make a splash on his morning show no one watches. I mean, like, seriously.
Yeah, it would have been nice if Antoine said that on this podcast, but yeah.
Yeah. All of Boston is just literally trying to figure out to talk about something else than Tom Brady and Julian Edelman right now. So there is no reason. It doesn't make sense. No one wants him here. And I'm sorry, we have, as a Celtics organization, since we've traded Paul Pierce and we've traded Kevin Garnett, Brad Stevens has literally been getting closer and closer and closer and closer to dethroning LeBron James. He's not in the I can't beat him, join him thing. This is the year. Next year is the year that we'll beat LeBron. Don't we want to enjoy that? I want to enjoy it. I actually want LeBron to stay in Cleveland a little bit just so we can whoop his ass next year. Like that, I've been waiting 6 years to whoop LeBron James' ass. I don't want him on the Celtics.
I've always felt like he's going to stay in Cleveland, but I think if he stays in the East, I agree with Sean. Like, you've been waiting so long to dethrone this dude, and the Celtics were one win away from doing that.
Well, that's why if you're LeBron James, I want to have a conversation with the Celtics. Well, I'm down to do that. Yeah,
at the end of the day,
but if you're the Celtics, you have to think about what's in your best interest. Yeah. You have to think about, like I said, the young guys. You have to think about, of course, your leader, your star, Kyrie Irving. How's he going to feel about this? And like I said in last week's episode, I mean, Kyrie Irving wants nothing to do with this. So if you're willing to bring in LeBron James, you have to know that you're going to have to sacrifice Kyrie Irving. This is not even up for debate. He's out. He is out. Kyrie, there's no way in hell Kyrie stays around. And then that's a whole nother conversation. How do you trade him? Because he's a free agent. This is his contract year. Where do you find a team to even make this work? And how does that team perform without Kyrie? Kyrie has such a strong influence on this entire roster from the start. He's the reason why they had home court advantage. He's the reason why Terry Rozier had the season that he had. He's the reason why so many guys, he was able to take them under his wing and guide them and motivate them. I just don't see the sense in trading someone like that just to bring in, obviously, the best player in the NBA. But like Joel said, I mean, how many more years is he going to be able to do this? And what kind of culture is he going to build in this locker room with a group full of guys that he's never played with before?
I agree with Sean. This is a Brad Stevens team. Even with Kyrie, it's still a Brad Stevens team. I don't want it to be a LeBron James team. You don't want that.
And that's exactly what it'll be.
You don't want that culture in the locker room with these young guys trying to develop.
And also, too, I don't know if it's too early for me to be back and drop a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but I think I got
already, huh? Sean wasting no time. Here we go. Cue the music. Cue the music.
All right. All right. No. But seriously, right? Why do you think Boston is all of a sudden coming up in these conversations. Who's leaking that?
I mean, Sway said maybe
I think it's Danny Ainge.
No. It's LeBron James. You know why? Because I think this is it. If the Celtics entertain signing LeBron James, guess who on the Celtics, the most important player on the Celtics, is going to be fucking pissed and is in the last year of his deal. And then we'll look at them and say, you really were thinking about signing LeBron James and trading Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's going to sit there and say, I'm not re-signing with Boston. Like, I think this is like a calculated move by LeBron's camp to throw Boston in there because he feels like no one can say no to me. If I say I want to go to Boston, Boston will have me. No, he's trying to mess up the relationship between Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics because he's a little bit jealous. He's the same guy that's leaking out. We would be up 3-0 right now against Golden State if we had Kyrie Irving on the team. He misses Kyrie Irving. He's a jilted lover. He's just jealous and he's trying to mess up the whole relationship with Boston right now with Kyrie.
Well, the Cavs, because I agree with that too. I agree with that notion that the Cavs would have a legit. I don't know about the 3-0 lead, but they would have a legit series going if you plug Kyrie Irving with this team. I do agree with that.
Well, LeBron already said it. He feels like the Cavs made a huge mistake in trading Kyrie. He said that recently.
Yeah. Well, there was no make no mistake about it. I mean, when that whole thing went down, I mean, LeBron wasn't all about it. It wasn't about the fact that Kyrie wanted out. I think he was upset about the organization actually, granting his wishes to trade him before the season even started.
And Kyrie is the first dude in the NBA that's literally ever stood up to LeBron James. Everybody else in the NBA has always
no one's ever done that.
Ever. I truly believe that. I mean, I semi-believe Stevie Wonder's not blind, but this is one of those conspiracy theories that I'm like really into.
I thought you really did believe that.
Nah, man, I am. I'm just sort of Stevie Wonder's not blind. I mean,
you messed him up, bro. He was trying to say he believes this more than Stevie Wonder.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Because LeBron James is calculated. If there's one thing about LeBron, it's that it's calculated. Everything he does has an ulterior motive. Also, too, I almost lit up my Paula's sister's relationship because she posted how she was all about LeBron James's finals, and I just went fucking off.
Oh yeah!
How dare you?
It lit the fires within, bro. I was like, but still,
Sean's like, Paula, hold Jordan for a second. You outside, gotta talk to you real quick.
You know what your sister's doing right now on the old Facebook?
You see this shit? You looking at this? You looking at this right now?
First thing on my wall. What's going on here?
Yeah.
You know what else too? LeBron shouldn't be just mad at the whole Kyrie situation though. He should look back about draft night and consider the fact that this team could have grabbed one of those guys that got traded.
He should be mad at the old GM that got fired. What's his name?
Right.
I forget his name right now, but yeah, he's the one that had a couple of offers on the table to either get Paul George or Jimmy Butler. You plug one of those guys in, you got yourself a series right now. Yeah, I don't think Kyrie is asking for a trade at that point.
You don't think he does?
No, I don't think he is.
And also, too, it's funny timing about all this, too, how I know, Joel, you were sort of giving a timeline, but it's always been L.A., Philly, Houston, Cleveland. That's like the top four, right?
Yeah, I feel like Houston recently, but yeah, I hear you.
But once that pick that LeBron thought he stole from Boston, that Brooklyn pick, turned into be the 8th pick, that's when all of a sudden these wheels start turning when Antoine says it and that stuff gets leaked. I'm telling you, man, it's all calculated, bro. He wants to get back at Boston because he knows next year, if he stays in the East, he has no chance. No chance.
All right, so let me ask you guys this, since I got Dutra on the phone. So there's 7 teams in all that supposedly James plans on having a conversation with, right? Do you actually think he's going to have a conversation with all 7 teams? I don't think he's going to have a conversation with all 7 teams.
I don't think so either.
No.
I think when someone like him, like Kevin Durant, those elite free agents that, are on the market every 3 or 4 years or whatever it is, I feel like they narrow things down to at least 3 or 4 teams. Now with LeBron James, I think that's going to be the exact same case of what we saw with Kevin Durant. I mean, maybe one more team than Durant saw. Durant only saw 3, but I do think that he will spend a significant amount of time with those teams. And those
So-
teams to me is going to be Houston, Philly, Cleveland, and then throw in a random team in there. Because remember in 2010, what did he meet with the Bulls? I think it was the Bulls, the Knicks, the Heat. You know, he's going to throw in a couple of teams in there that you know they'll stroke his ego and he'll walk away thinking like, yeah, that was fun, but there's no way I'm going there.
Yeah, I mean, what I was getting with that is I don't think he's going to meet with Boston. I think right now it's a lot of speculation because of what Stephen A. said. But what if this doesn't happen? Like, can you actually picture, you know, LeBron in the Hamptons with like Danny Ainge and like Tom Brady? Like they trying to woo this dude to come over here?
I think
like,
the Celtics brass will definitely entertain the idea. I mean, let's face it, Danny Ainge has never been a guy to leave a stone unturned. But I just believe at the end of the day, they won't think it's necessarily. They don't think the sacrifice or whatever's going to take to make room for him is going to be worth it. But I do think they'll have a conversation just to get other teams thinking that the Celtics might do it, just to stir the pot. I mean, that's a Danny Ainge thing to do, right? Just to get everybody thinking like, oh, are they coming close to a deal? Oh, if they're meeting with each other, this could actually happen. Just to get things stirring, and then you'll see Danny Ainge come out and make a deal that no one saw coming.
that seems like a New York Yankees
or
thing.
signing that no one saw coming. I do think the Celtics will add. Maybe not through free agency, or I'm thinking probably through free agency, but if not, maybe a minor deal here or there. But for the most part, you'll see the majority of this roster intact next season.
Yeah, there's a better chance Isaiah Thomas is back in the Celtics uniform than LeBron James even getting a meeting with the Boston Celtics.
Okay, so you're feeling that too, right? That the Celtics won't even have a meeting with LeBron.
I don't think
so either. I just think it's a lot of hot air, but
yeah.
All right, well,
it gets us talking.
All right, well, speaking of crazy, wacky reports, what about the report that, or I shouldn't say report, but what Mike Gorman had to say about Kyrie Irving not untouchable, quote unquote, when it comes to trades going down throughout the offseason. I don't think this report is a shock. Obviously, we've seen what Danny Ainge has done in the past. I mean, shit, look, less than a year ago, he had no problem trading one of the best scorers in the NBA, Isaiah Thomas. Guy put up with 29 points of one of the best scoring seasons in Celtics history, and he flipped them with no problem. So now that Kyrie Irving's coming back for a significant injury, people are wondering, will he do the same? Will Kyrie Irving be traded? Is he somebody that Danny Ainge is considering trading with 1 year left on his contract, which is the exact same situation or scenario that he found Isaiah Thomas in less than a year ago? Sean, what do you think? And if you do think the Celtics would be willing to trade him, if you're Danny Ainge, who is a guy or a target that you'd be willing to trade Kyrie Irving for to bring into Boston?
Where this is going?
Yeah, well, obviously there's Kawhi. I mean, we've been there. We've been down there. I would do that. I think other than that,
Kawhi.
Other than that, and I mean, Kawhi would have to happen, and I think a couple other things would have to happen too. Like, I don't think it's a straight up deal there. Just I don't know. Well, we've talked about that ad nauseum, but I would trade him for the number 1 pick if Phoenix is interested. I would love to get Ayton. I don't know if they would do that if he would re-sign there, but I think that's the type of move you're looking for. Like Kyrie, I mean, if he didn't get injured, he's on the first All NBA team this year. I think I think easily he's the number 1 guard on that team. So if you could get like a number 1 pick or the number 1 or number 2 pick this year, maybe. But if you do it, I don't think it's like to get better this year. The only way you get better this year is if you get Kawhi. But if you're trading Kyrie, you're building around Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, which if you do want to talk money and you've already got Hayward locked up and and then you lock up Kyrie, who's going to make about $35 million if you sign him to a long-term deal, you're then going to have to choose between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown at some point. So if you wanted to get younger and you felt like this team doesn't need Kyrie to compete next year, when you got Hayward coming back and you want to get a number one draft pick, then maybe. But that's only because Danny Ainge is a GM. If I'm the GM, I'm not trading Kyrie. But I mean, Danny will do whatever. I agree with Mike Gorman on this one.
Well, I agree with that, but I just think it's a very, very, very short list. And if I'm Danny Ainge, in my opinion, the only guy I would even think about trading for is Anthony Davis. And I just don't see that happening. I don't see the grabbing 1 year of Kyrie Irving and hoping that he decides to stick around. Meanwhile, you obviously don't know how DeMarcus Cousins is going to respond. You don't know what's going to happen with Rondo. I mean, Rondo was a huge difference maker in the postseason run that they had. So there's just a lot of questions throughout that roster. So why trade away your best player? Why trade away a top 5 guy in the league for somebody who's you don't know if he's going to stick around or if he's even going to improve your roster that much. That's it. That's in my list. That's the only guy I'm willing to see the Celtics trade for when we're talking about trading Kyrie Irving. And listen, I get it. Kyrie Irving, if one thing we learned about Kyrie Irving this season is one, he's an amazing leader, but two, maybe this window of opportunity isn't as big as we thought it was going to be when the trade had initially happened. Maybe we're talking about 3, 4, 5 years of great, top-notch basketball out of Kyrie, but because of injuries and because of how he moves and the history that we've seen with guys with his style of play, guards specifically, maybe come 4 or 5 years down the road, we'll see a huge decline. But hey, that 3, 4, 5 year window, I mean, that's plenty of time to win, if not 1, 2, maybe 3 championships with the guys that he has surrounding him, and Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum, of course. So we all want to see that unfold, and I'm in that same boat. If it's not Anthony Davis, forget it. Don't rock the boat. Leave it the way it is.
Are you willing to pay Kyrie Irving $35 million over 6 years next year?
You mean each year?
Yeah, each year, bro. You're not gonna get him on a Jay Crowder.
Well, you said, but the way you worded that, you said 35 over. Yeah, no, I got you.
I worded it wrong, but you obviously know what I'm talking about. Are you willing to pay him less than Marcus Smart? No, I'm just joking.
No,
but
I know. I get you. I'm picking up on your sarcasm. No, I'm thinking.
It's not coming through over the phone.
I'm thinking 32, 33. I mean, you have to, right? Because you set a precedent. You set a precedent with Gordon Hayward, so you have to give him more than Hayward.
He's going to demand the most money you can give him. So that'll probably be like $35 million. Like,
all right, so
you're going to have to give him a max deal for the max amount of time. So
no. I don't know about the max amount of time though. Why can't you do the LeBron James route? The LeBron James clause. 1-2 years, 34, 35 a year. That's it.
Why would Kyrie do that? Because he knows he has an injury. He has a possibility of injuries. Someone will give him 5 years, $35 million a year each year. I mean, that's the risk you take if you're Danny Ainge. I mean, if you look at it and say, I have Tatum and I have Brown, and I truly believe I can build around them, then you probably do trade Kyrie because you're not going to pay him.
Well, I mean, that's a point that Mike Gorman brought up. Because of his history of injuries, this season is going to be huge for him. Because he does have a player option that he could also pick up that he can opt into. He has that in his back pocket. Yeah. If Ainge is like, I don't know if we're gonna. Well, guess what? He says, I can just pick up this player option. You don't want to pay me now.
Do as a solid,
and I can prove to you on another year that I can fucking still play. I don't know, more than 50 games in a season.
Yeah, but does he do that if they win a championship though? That's the question. If the Celtics go on, if the Celtics go on and win the championship, is he going to do that? He's going to say, hey, I just brought you a championship. I just brought you number 18.
If
give me my dough.
I'm saying what if they don't win the championship? I mean, make it to the finals, but they don't win the championship, and I don't know, Kyrie missed 25 games and a big chunk of the playoffs. What does Danny do then?
Whoa, big chunk of the playoffs.
You don't sign him.
Yeah. If you missed if you got to the finals and you were able to do your thing in the finals, like, okay, that's great. We appreciate that, obviously, but where the heck were you in, the first couple of rounds? You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, like.
And listen, let's face it, going into this regular season, I think we can all safely say that we're talking, 60, 64 games tops? I mean, I don't want to see Kyrie Irving play anywhere near 82 games throughout the regular season.
No, I get what you're saying.
You conserve him.
I get what you're saying, but, if he gets injured at the wrong times of the season where they're trying to grab the first seed so they got home court throughout the playoffs and he misses a month of the season. Like this past season. And I mean, I know the second seed was kind of locked up, but what if the Celtics had fallen down? Like, I don't think they would have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You're talking about playing Toronto or Cleveland in the second round.
Here's the thing, though. How'd the Celtics do?
Oh! You're asking how the Celtics did? You didn't think they were going to get past the first round? I don't want to hear it.
I know, but I know. I'm not saying I predicted this. If you talk to me when Kyrie first went down and said trade Kyrie, I would say absolutely not. But the fact that they were able to play the way they played with the team that they had in the playoffs, all around Tatum, all around Brown, like, you have to realistically look at the way you're going to build your team going forward. Because before Kyrie went down, it was, we're going to try to re-sign Kyrie. We're going to build around the big three of Hayward, Kyrie, and and Horford, and then we got these young guys. We'll see what happens with them.
Yeah.
But now it's like the opposite, sort of. Like Kyrie's a little bit expendable. Like if Hayward was playing, Hayward would probably be even more expendable than Kyrie if he wasn't locked into a long-term deal.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like I think that's what Mike Gorman was saying at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Ainge is always thinking ahead. A year ago, who would have thought that Isaiah Thomas was going to get traded? Everyone was like, no, he's one piece.
Yeah.
You got to add another piece or a couple pieces.
Get
around
Hayward,
him.
and we're good.
You got Horford. Yeah. You're going to get Hayward, and then, add these other guys around him. Whatever happens in the draft. At the time, we all thought Markelle Fultz. Thank God it wasn't.
Jeez.
So,
hey, don't give up on Markelle Fultz yet, bro.
I think that ship has sailed, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Already?
The Sixers are still, with all their shit going on, they're still hoping, they're praying that Markelle Fultz turns into what he's supposed to be turned into. But anyways.
No, they'll be all right.
But we got, I'd rather have Tatum either way. Right?
Okay, but I digress. My point is, there's something to think about at the end of the day. Sean just mentioned a great point. What do the Celtics do kind of what they did this year without him? And they make it to the finals, and then there are 1 or 2 games, whatever the case may be, but they just make it to the finals.
How do you gauge his value?
Exactly. So, but then you also bring up another good point, Sway. What if he says, "All right, sign me for a 2-year deal"? Second year being a player option.
I'll prove myself every year. I'll take that option, and I'll decline the option and get more money if I impress him.
Or in reverse, don't give me, and I'll just opt into my player option. Which is what, like 20? I think it was like 24, 25 mil.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I mean,
not a change.
Any team will give him. And the team out there though will give him like that. That's the thing is like there will be teams lining up to sign Kyrie to a long-term max deal because like if you think about it, they don't have the same problems the Celtics have with 2 young studs ready to explode in the next couple of years. Kyrie's like the only thing they'll have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Orlando's down there sitting with all the cap space in the world and they want Kyrie and Kyrie says, whatever, I'll go there. Or Dallas, right? Some teams like that, they'll lock him up. So
you're right.
Danny's not going to have that luxury of saying, why don't you stick around? I'll pay you 40% of market value and you can see what happens,
Yeah, but with Kyrie, Danny's not stuck like we felt like he was with Isaiah.
Mm.
Like, we didn't realize how serious the injury was, but the moment that Kyrie was available...
Oh, he flipped him just in time.
He flipped him quickly.
Just in time, though.
Yeah.
If you wait any longer, he's screwed.
Because if you don't trade for him, if you don't trade for Kyrie, you got to pay Isaiah.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, we were talking about that last season. You had to pay him because he walks and you got nothing. You lost him for nothing. So that's kind of similar now, but it's not like you're stuck. In this situation, you're not stuck.
Yeah, as weird as it is, you are almost in an identical situation as Isaiah Thomas. You were going to be with Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, but with a better roster.
All right, well, let me ask you guys.
With a much better roster.
Let me ask Sean this then, and then I'll hear.
Scary Terry's waiting.
I'll hear what you have to say about this, Joel, and we'll get a little bit into the finals because this is the NBA Finals edition of the Causeway Street podcast.
That's right.
So we'll get one question in, but real quick, Sean. What about the fact that we're talking about his knee here? Like, this isn't exactly, A, it's not the first time he's had problems, right? And B, this isn't a part of his body that we can say, like, oh, he can just rest up and heal. I mean, that's a vital part of what he does. I mean, I can't, and we had this conversation before, like months ago. I can't help but think about Derrick Rose. I mean, man, Derrick Rose was an MVP, 2,
both knees,
one of the best players in the NBA, and he was never the same. Now, does the same thing happen to Kyrie? I don't think so. I don't think it'll be a replica of what we saw from Rose. But at the same time, I can't help but think that maybe that year that we just saw him have, maybe he's able to duplicate that one more time. And I don't know. Or maybe he's not. Maybe he's just not the same player. Maybe he's got to be more of a shooter, which obviously he's proven that he can shoot. Throughout the last couple of years, he's been shooting, better than he has when he first came in the league. But let's face it, though, his bread and butter is attacking the rim. His bread and butter is slashing through defenders. Like that's his MO. That's how he gets to the free throw line. That's how he's able to put up, 25 a game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound the alarm too bad on the Kyrie injury thing. I think he'll be great next year. You know what I mean? I think he'll be fine. I think where we started this was what is he in 3 years? You know, and after the second year
That's
of
the
his
question.
5-year deal, right?
Yeah.
Like how much is his body going to break down? And come on, man,
He'll be 30
compare.
by then. He'll be 30 years old by then.
Don't compare him to Derrick Rose, man. That guy is a broken doll. He was cursed, bro. He's cursed.
Plus, Kyrie's got better hair, right?
Yeah. Well, let's keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on that, bro.
Well kept.
Let's keep an eye on that. If
If that thing starts growing out, then we know we're in trouble.
If you see Kyrie, if you see Kyrie at the Vegas Summer League, just like watching in the stands, and he's got like just some unkept look going instead of the tight little fade he's been rocking, man, then we're gonna have a problem. So, and he already started last year with the beard, man. That beard, I was looking at that beard from time to time, and I was like, oof, jeez, man, you never used to do that, dude.
It's because he looked like Randy Moss's little brother when he first got signed. That's why.
Yeah, no, because when he first got signed, he was like clean cut. He had no facial hair, a nice tight cut, and then all of a sudden the season starts, and he's like Mr. Raggedy Beard, like looking like he's outside of like he's like gonna stand outside and drink a 40 just in front of your school. Like that's literally what
brown bagging it.
Him and Derrick Rose. If you saw them both outside of like I don't know, brown bagging somewhere outside, you'd be like, well, okay. Like that's what I'm saying, man. You gotta keep an eye on that shit. Yeah, I just don't think that we should be overreacting too much. But the only reason why we're talking about this is because the Celtics have proven they can be really good, borderline great without Kyrie. That's why. I think that's more why you don't want to invest the money than his injury. So
I'm still under the impression that he would have gotten that when they removed the
minimally invasive.
The minimally invasive procedure would have been done earlier in the season if Gordon Hayward was around. If Gordon Hayward is playing, he would have done that sooner, come back sooner, and maybe we're talking about a different topic here when it comes to him and resigning him. But because the Celtics started off so well, and no one expected, that 16-game win streak, and then they were pretty much at the top of the East up until like a few days before the All-Star break.
Yeah,
and still battling for that top spot.
You're onto something. I think you're right there, Joel. If Hayward's playing, and November comes around, and you guys are, the Celtics are 10-2.
Well, you got the 16-game winning streak too. That was huge.
That was huge.
Yeah.
But everything was aroing Kyrie. Yeah. Everything. If you remember the beginning of the year,
he was an MVP candidate. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. At the beginning of the year too, we had look at the podcast. We were saying, how does this team score without Kyrie Irving?
Yeah.
Was the conversation?
Yeah, there was plenty of games where they're down double digits, and all of a sudden Kyrie's like, "All right, turning it on right now."
Yeah,
bam,
yep.
Game over.
Yeah,
without Kyrie, you're thinking like, how is this? Like you said, like
he had like 12 points at halftime. Then he finishes with like 37.
Yeah, and like 10 assists, and you're like, how did he do that? Yeah. And even Brad Stevens was like, "We're not as good as his record."
Like, don't get it twisted.
There's a lot of things to.
I don't know how this is happening right now.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Gonna go with it.
Yeah, and there was a lot of standing around just watching Kyrie do his thing.
Yeah.
So in a way, it was good that he didn't play in this playoff run. Obviously, you know he wanted to be there despite missing Game 7. I guess he's getting ready for his movie premiere. His.
We all going to see that?
I'm going.
Let's good. Let's go. Let's all go.
Oh, don't get me started about the Uncle Drew movie.
Uncle Drew, bro.
Sean's gonna have that on bootleg.
Oh my god,
might not be a good movie, bro, but he's gonna make some dough off that flick. So
yeah, because it's
gonna be
hour long commercial, bro.
Come on, it's gonna be all right, Sean. You make it sound like it's gonna be like a complete like joke.
I want to play a drinking game to that and just see how many times Sprite or like
it's
burger.
Pepsi, bro.
Pepsi. Okay, sorry, Pepsi.
Is it?
Yeah. How many times people are drinking Pepsis in the scene?
Well, that's how the whole Uncle Drew thing started.
Right. Yeah,
because of the Pepsi
commercials.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, there's going to be at least 1,000 shots of people drinking Pepsi.
I can't remember the last time I even saw a Pepsi. Like, I feel like I don't see them as much as I used
to. It's two big checks. One from Pepsi and one from whoever made the film. That's what Kyrie's about to do right now. So
he's not going to get any money. No one's going to see that movie. Like
People are gonna see it.
People are gonna see it. Are you
Whether they
kidding
like
me?
it or not is another story.
I
but
mean,
people
the
are gonna
average
see it.
age is going to be like 12, but people will see it.
People are gonna see it.
Yeah. All right, Sean. Let's get you going with this for a little bit because I don't want to get too much into it. I don't think you want to, but NBA Finals. What happens tonight? The Cavs. Are they going to save the series from being swept? Are they going to win one? Does Golden State sweep them out? Do they party it up and on Cleveland's floor? Do we see LeBron James wear a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey for the final time of his career? What happens?
So I know I haven't been on for a while, but I was firmly in the camp of Golden State just sweeping, and there was zero chance that the Cavs would even come close to sniffing a game.
I had them getting one.
Obviously, I was wrong because I guess they almost won game one, but like that was always going to happen. Like they were always going to fuck that up.
Yo, how hard did you laugh when that whole thing happened? Like the J.R. Smith thing, like the whole like LeBron James freaking out, LeBron James fixing his freaking his shorts, trying to storm off and had to fix his tight shorts.
So that was awesome. That was just it was the best. Like I've never been more happy watching a basketball game since the Celtics won the championship. But seriously though, what was even better to me was the next day when they released the sound from the huddle. Did you guys see that?
Yes, I did actually.
I saw the video of like when there's no sound.
Well, no, he was asking about the timeout. You talk about that, right?
No, it was when they were going to overtime. In between,
yeah. He was asking Ty Lue. He was like, "Do we have a timeout?" Yeah.
You're right, Joel.
Yeah.
You would think there was no sound, but that was the sound from their bench. Literally, no one was talking. Ty Lue was mic'd up. He came back, and then all they say is, "You made me do. We had a timeout." Oh! LeBron was just, like before that, though,
he was sitting there. He was sitting there. Yeah, he was sitting there pouting and like, can't believe this shit happened.
Yeah, everybody out there who wants to defend LeBron. Michael Jordan wouldn't do that. He'd get his team ready for overtime. Antoine Walker wouldn't do that, man. Antoine Walker would get his team ready for overtime.
He got his Game 3 speech on from the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, seriously. LeBron's the worst. The friggin' worst. So, yeah, I hope they lose. I hope they get swept. I hope LeBron James has a 50-point quadruple double and gets stomped by 30 points.
And then J.R. Smith calls a timeout that they don't have. Is that what you hope?
Yeah. Actually, it would be awesome.
Steph Curry wins it at the free throw line.
Yeah.
That's when Adam Silver's going to step in and launch an investigation on J.R. Smith. If he got paid.
You throwing games here, bro?
State.
Next year, J.R. Smith signs with Golden State, like on the low. Like
Nick Young leaves and he comes right in for that role.
He's like, guys, I'm perfect for this, and I gave you those games last year.
You guys owe me. You guys owe me.
He walks in, he's like, I'm gonna need $20 million a year.
Like we'll pay you for we'll pay you the 20 mil, but through like 10, 15 years.
I love the Golden State cheers when he
the MVP
won the MVP, and then just the player introduction, they just went nuts. So like, hey, here he is. It's our boy.
It's like when the Sox on opening day in 2005, Mariano Rivera, everyone was giving them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. The ring ceremony.
Yeah.
Great times.
Now, but the only way the Cavs win is if the NBA wants the Cavs to win, which they probably do. The gap is so huge that I don't even think that the refs can help the Cavs. Like I really don't.
I can't remember the last time the gap's been this big in the NBA Finals. Like it's crazy.
Well, yeah, that's why I really wanted the Celtics to be in the finals. It would have been such a more entertaining.
Oh, you wanted that?
Really? I did, man. I really did.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
In case you didn't know. In case you missed it.
Sean, do you want that?
A little bit. It'd be 2-1 right now. It'd be 2-1 right now. Warriors be up 2-1.
He's like, a little bit, maybe a little bit.
I didn't even watch Game 3. That's how bad this NBA Finals is.
Well, let me tell you how it went down. It was pretty close, and then JR just started gunning threes, and it didn't work out. Long story short, it didn't work out for him.
And then Kevin Durant launched one from half court, none but net.
I almost yo, that shot was epic.
Actually,
man.
did you
that
see?
Shot was crazy. It was damn near half court.
Yeah, when he lined himself up, I'm like, he's gonna take this. And I was like,
man,
just walked away.
Dude is an assassin. Man.
And you know what's crazy? And I didn't even realize until the next day. I'm seeing the highlights of the game, but obviously everyone was focusing on that shot because he did the same thing last year in Game 3. LeBron has a chance to guard him, and he switches with Rodney Hood.
Soft.
And he switches off to try to guard Steph.
Yeah, he had a terrible game.
Three.
Yeah, terrible game.
All fucking game. He was 1 for 10 from 3-point line. Why are you guarding Steph, bro?
That's another thing.
When you know that shit was going to KD.
Michael Jordan would have guarded their best guy. Like Kobe Bryant would have got out there and guarded their best guy.
Paul Pierce would have guarded the best guy.
Paul would have been all over that. It's because he doesn't want to be in that highlight when he fucking makes it over him.
That's the difference. That's the difference, man. Yeah. LeBron's soft. He's
soft. Because he wasn't a highlight last year. That's a good thing you brought that up. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
he did that. He did that in LeBron's face last year.
Man, that's all we kept seeing, right? You know,
if he comes to Boston for a meeting this summer, I hope everyone poisons his clam chowder.
What would you do, Sean, if that would happen?
I almost felt bad for J.R. Smith, though. He's just checking out. He's like, he wants to be the hero so badly. And it's just like, nope, not happening.
What would you do, Sean, if LeBron did get signed by the Celtics?
Dude, I'd really have to consider a lot of things in my life. I really would. Like, I don't know. I probably... this podcast would probably take a turn for the worse. Not gonna lie. I mean... I'd probably
We'd give you a new segment called "Things That Piss Me Off About LeBron James." It'd be like, why the fuck did LeBron fucking tie his shoe in the middle of the second quarter? Why wouldn't he do that before the game started and not like in the middle of the game?
Yeah, exactly. I think I'd be like a Bruins fan next year. I think I'd really petition this.
He turned into a casual Celtics fan. Like he would casually watch them, and then we had to fill him in before every episode of the podcast.
We'll give you a segment called the Bruins Corner, and you tell us what's going on with the Bruins. every episode, because this is the Causeway Street podcast, and the Bruins do play on Causeway Street as well.
Yeah, it may be revolutionary for our podcast. Also, I would probably just pretend that LeBron James wasn't on the team. Like I would talk about everybody else other than, and I just wouldn't never say.
He'd be like, man, Tatum had a great third quarter. I mean, that guy, he did go off in the fourth and close it out, but we have to remember that Jason Tatum is a star in the making. Like,
which guy?
I wouldn't even say that guy.
Right.
That wouldn't have happened. I would have just like the reason why the Celtics won tonight. Even if Tatum had like 17 points and LeBron had 70, I'd be like, Jason Tatum really took over the game when it mattered.
He was finally open, man.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, it's the NBA Finals edition of the Causeway Street Podcast, and for our day one listeners, you know what that means. It's that time of the year where we play a little game called A Million and One Questions. Sean, we didn't even tell you about this. You ready for this, man?
Am I playing the game?
Yeah, man. We're going to fire off questions.
You are a contestant.
Questions that pertain to the NBA Finals, and you have to answer them as quickly as possible, man. You pumped up or what?
Sean Dutra, come on down.
Also, real quick, what I would do if LeBron, I just figured it out. If LeBron did come to Boston, I would buy season ticket, courtside seats, empty the bank account, and then just wear my LeBron is a bitch shirt to every game and just be on TV every game.
You would sleep in that thing.
Yeah, every game.
That'd be good press for the Causeway Street Podcast. Hell yeah.
Be great press.
All right, let's go. You ready?
I'm ready. Sean.
No, not you, man.
You ready?
Sean.
Yeah, this is my second time on 101 Questions, man. You really got to find some guests other than your co-host, bro. But
all right, Sean, man. We'll talk to you later, bro.
All right, man.
Hey,
see you, man.
Phone's cutting up again, yo.
Yo, maybe Christian Arcane can join.
Yeah, he
big time
us.
by a Saturday afternoon fucking sports hub guy. Jesus.
He went big time on us, man.
Yeah, big time.
Didn't want to come through.
He's so big time.
Oh boy,
so big time.
Shots fired.
You know, I always hear.
Rather have Jim Rice come on.
No, I always hear new fathers, tend to like soften up a little bit. But not Sean.
No, Sean's the same old dude. He's the same. But I guarantee you, in front of Jordan, he won't be like this. When Jordan's older, but the second he turns the corner, he's out the room. He's just like it's same old Sean.
Yo.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. I love it.
That's one piece of advice to new fathers out there. Don't lose your stride, man. You don't need to.
Yo, you know what this motherfucker did today? 5 poops. 5 poops.
I walk into the room, shit everywhere.
Just an explosion.
All right, drop that beat. All right, let's get right into it. First question, of course. Which team will LeBron James ultimately sign with this summer, Sean? Who you got?
Houston.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been thinking that too. But you hear what Chris Paul said? He wants that max. I don't know how the fuck they're gonna have 2 max guys in Houston.
Yeah,
unless they trade everyone except for James Harden.
He better calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
He better learn to stay healthy.
Make a decision on Clint Capella there. If they think Clint Capella's the guy, then we're gonna have to make a choice.
Yeah, I think Capella's out, man. He's gonna get paid somewhere else.
Capella's going to Dallas, man. Dallas gonna throw them dollars.
That's
at
a
him.
good. Yeah, I guess.
If I'm Houston, though, I'm sorry, Chris Paul. I'm gonna give the max to LeBron James to play next to James Harden, and then you can figure out your life. Like that's fine. Go find your max, man.
Go figure out your life. Go make those State Farm commercials, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, Oscar from The Office is waiting for you, dude. You still fucking.
Are the Warriors on their way to becoming the greatest NBA dynasty of all time?
No, man. No, they're not. Boston Celtics with Bill Russell just dominated the 50s. They got like 7 more championships to catch up on that. No way.
I would throw in, though I hate to say this, I would throw in the Lakers of the 80s. They made it to the fucking finals like 8 years.
Yeah.
In that decade.
Actually, wait, the Bulls of the 90s, bro. The Bulls of the 90s.
That too.
won
Yeah, it's
championship.
another team. Yep.
If you could party with 3
Dumb.
NBA players in the finals, who you got?
Ooh, well, okay, all right. Let me think about this for like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
You got to bring Jordan with you.
I'll
too,
give you a
though.
second.
So,
Nah, Jordan's sitting this one out to death. Because we're hitting the strip club up.
Both teams too.
Yeah, we're
both
hitting the strip club up, and I think it's got to be.
Zaza Pachulia.
Okay, here's what I'm doing. I'm bringing J.R. Smith, Nick Young, and then David West. Because no one's going to fuck with us with David West.
there you go.
No one's going to fuck
Gotta have
with
the
us with
enforcer.
David West.
Gotta have the enforcer.
David
there.
West is just a muscle, and me, JR, and Nick Young are just going to be inappropriately touching strippers' butts all night.
And you know JR ain't gonna have a shirt on either. And you know Nick Young's just gonna be throwing bills like crazy.
JR's gonna bring that Henny. You gotta drink that Henny that night.
I'm cool.
Henny
I'm
on
cool with
deck.
drinking Henny, man. I'm cool with drinking Henny. Maybe I switch up Nick Young though. Maybe you bring. I mean, Steve Kerr's got like the good shit. Like,
Bring the coach out. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
he's
I don't hate it.
Also, too, like then like, I'm not the only white dude. That may make a lot of things easier. I don't know.
It's funny. I haven't even asked myself this question. I'm going to think about it before the end of this episode and then see what I come up with.
A couple possibilities there. You know who I may invite is LeBron James, and then tell him I'm going to like a different place, so he goes there by himself. And
all right, who wins in a fight, Tristan Thompson or Draymond Green?
Tristan Thompson, bro. Draymond Green's.
I don't know. I'm taking the underdog. I'm going with Draymond.
No, I'm taking Tristan Thompson, bro.
Tristan, he's quiet, man. You don't ever know what he's thinking, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of
he's
him,
got a lot of pent up shit going on right now too, man.
That too.
Smash anybody.
all right. Speaking of him, is the Kardashian curse real? Do you believe in it?
I've been preaching about the Kardashian curse since fucking Chris Humphries, bro. Yes, I believe in that shit.
Damn, that's way back.
Way back.
All right. Well, yay or nay for Kanye's newest album? Speaking of Kardashians.
Oh, I see what you did there, Sway.
Yeah, you saw that.
Damn, that's a tough one, man.
What?
Okay, here's the only thing. Okay, 7 songs on the album means that if more than 3 songs are subpar, half of the album is whack. So it's tough. And the tipping point for me is that song that he is like.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs on there. You're crazy.
Yo, all right, I'm gonna ruin that song for you, man, because now. Literally, I was driving home the other day and I was like, who the fuck does this remind me of? And I was like, oh shit. You know what he sounds like in that chorus? He sounds like the old pedophile from Family Guy, man. Like, I just imagine him singing that chorus now.
You want to come inside for some cold popsicles?
I'm telling you, man. That's what he sounds like.
You're crazy.
Oh, Chris.
How did that even cross your mind?
You want to take your shirt off?
do it in that voice.
Gonna rub on to let the genie out the bottle.
Gonna rub the genie off the bottle.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, he sounds exactly like him. that is sort of ruining the album for me a little bit.
All right. Well, besides that track though, the rest of the tracks I like them. I like them all actually. No Mistakes is okay, but that's about it. That's about it. No Mistakes is the only one that's okay in my opinion.
Nah, I mean Ghost Town's a great song.
That's my favorite joint right there.
Yeah,
That's just been stuck in my head, and
man.
I'm fucking stoked for Cudi and Kanye. I can't wait.
Which has dropped already, bro. What are you waiting for, man? You got title, man.
It's already out.
It's out, bro. It's out.
Let's all get together and bump that. I can't wait.
Let's have a listening session, shall we?
Yeah, we'll invite Steve Kerr.
And I'll bring the popsicles.
All right, I think we asked this last time, but I'm gonna ask it again, man. Who's hotter, Ayesha Curry or Steph's mom, Sonia Curry?
I'm gonna say Steph Curry.
All right, that's enough, man. Shut up.
Joel's on fire with this.
You know what? That's because he looks like he's 13. That's accurate.
Every year you gotta ask this question, Sway. Huh?
It's a no-brainer to me.
Maybe if we had a different fucking NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the fourth time, same team.
That's true.
Yeah, it's never going to be Ayesha Curry. It's always going to be Mrs. Curry.
Yes.
Yeah, but Mrs. Curry.
Yes.
She's kind of aged this year, though.
Yo,
It doesn't matter.
Mrs. Curry does not age.
You can see the wrinkles in her neck now. They weren't like that before.
I'll tell you what to
She's
do
like
with those
fine
wrinkles.
wine. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Are you kidding me?
Not even a question.
Yo, I would pass on. All right. I don't know if you agree with this, Sean, but
All right,
I would pass up on Steph's sisters for their mom.
This is
Like-
the creepy part of the podcast.
Like she is dope.
Yeah.
Like, I think she is so dope.
I would.
Shout out to Dell.
Yes, it's the mom. It's the mom.
Shout out to Dell.
Dell.
Dell sniped that years ago, man. Shout out to him. Attaboy. Dell's the man. You know what, too?
He's
Dell.
been sniping since '83.
You know what's real about Dell too? He just kind of chills in the cut. Like everybody's in the forefront. Everyone's got like their whole like social media popping and doing things like the whole Curry family. And Dell's just chilling. He's just
Dell.
I love when
Dell's
he pops a
actually
three.
watching the game.
Yeah. I love when Steph pops a
Exactly.
three. Everyone goes nuts. The mother's going nuts. And he just puts his hand up. Like,
Oh, he claps his hands. Yeah, he's just like, all right.
That's what's supposed to happen.
All right. It's been a few years, but I have to know, Sean. I don't know what you do, in your spare time, but Cleveland Steamer. Have you ever had one?
No.
The deep breath.
Took a little while there.
No, I never have.
No. Man, you're missing out.
Would I ever get a Cleveland Steamer? I mean, I think we got to change this question up. So next year.
No, Cleveland better not be in it next year.
No,
Or they probably won't be in it.
If this happens again next year, if we got Warriors, Cavaliers times 5. The question, we're about to get to like the bad Rocky movies next time.
I think we're already there.
Half a decade of fucking Cleveland.
No, Rocky 4 was a great movie. Rocky 4, they went to Russia, man. That was good. No, so next year you're going to have to ask if you ever got a Cleveland Steamer. And then the follow-up question is, would you let Steph Curry's mom give you a Cleveland Steamer?
That's a great question.
And I'm going to pose this question to both of you guys.
Sway's gonna say yes all day.
Is this the only way we'll have sexual relations?
This is how it's going to start.
She goes, this is how I start with all my conquests. And Sway's like, I'm down.
Let's do it.
Oh.
Sign me up, son. Let's
Jesus,
do it.
man.
And then after that, we're having a great night. Get it out of the way.
What if she just goes, I'm good. I'm done for the rest of the evening.
Oh, if she does that? Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a bad trade-off. No, I wouldn't do that. You think I would want that to happen just for that to happen?
What if she wants to film it?
No. Then obviously that's a no.
Yo, Joel, are you just taking on the Family Guy fucking?
Well, what do you mean?
All right. Finally, this has nothing to do with the finals, but I want to get it in there. Who won this beef? Drake or Pusha T?
Ooh, well, so I heard some interesting news today about Drake shit. Did you guys hear about that?
Is it
Fill me in.
well, Jay Prince said that told Drake not to come back?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that I heard. Yes.
And Kanye was the one who told Jay Prince to get Drake not to release that shit because it was so vicious.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And it was all about Kanye and Pusha T, but mainly Kanye because I think
Mostly
Drake
Kanye.
realized-
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And
What do you think
that-
it was?
That track is out there. That track is fucking
That track is
out there.
If you had to guess, though,
Like-
what do you think it's about?
Oh, it's about
They had sexual relations.
it's about Kanye being gay or like
Yes, that's what I think it is. I don't think I don't think it's a sexual relationship with Pusha T, but I think it had something to do with that. I think it had something to do with him being gay
I don't know, man. I know.
or him messing around with dudes.
I know he's Pusha T's engaged, but you never know.
But you know what cracks me up though? That's how mad Drake was. Drake was like, I need everyone to, because there's another rumor out there that he was paying top dollar for any dirt on any of those guys, either one of those guys.
the other guy from Clips. What's that Pusha T's whole thing? Was just like, I got some shit, man.
Oh yeah, he's like, yo, you don't even want to know, bro. He's like, I've been waiting for this opportunity.
I can't stand that motherfucker anymore.
It's like, you want some Malice? That's his name, Malice. They go, you want some shit?
you want some shit?
Oh, you want some shit?
Yeah, man. I think
It's gonna cost you a couple keys.
I think that track literally would have just like someone would have had to probably like there are two people that like it's not like a too big Biggie and Tupac thing, but like someone's career would have been ended if this track went through. Like if this track went out, either everyone would have turned on Drake and just been like, "Yo, what the fuck, man?" Like,
You went too hard, man.
yeah, you just crossed the line. Tupac opened up his shit with like, I just fucked your bitch, but like
Acapella
like,
too, no beat,
yeah,
just fucking
Drake-
said that. That's why I
Drake
fucked your
would've-
bitch.
yeah, Drake would have like even made that been like, yo, you could have just said you fucked his bitch, man.
Just say you
Like-
smashed Kim, jeez.
Yeah, dude, damn. So that's my feeling on it. I think Drake wins just because.
Oh
just
man,
because-
but I want to hear that
They're
song
trying
though.
to figure out like, what would he have said?
No, I want
this track got shut down.
I gotta hear
And
it.
you know what?
Hope it gets,
Someone's gonna leak
it's
it.
gotta get leaked.
Someone's gonna be leaking.
Who the fuck does Jay Prince think he is, man? Some washed up motherfucking.
Yo, he's getting
rap
mad
fucking-
exposure for this too.
No, I also-
He's done
Yeah.
like a bunch of interviews.
No, I also heard that he told LeBron not to come back in this series.
Sean was like, "Wait, really? Is that true?"
After game 2, he was like, "You're good, guys.
I said, "Nah, you're good, man."
Don't come back."
No one has talked about this motherfucker in like 17 years, and all of a sudden, oh, I told Drake not to do it because I still run shit. No, you fucking didn't, man. Shut the fuck up.
All right, there you go.
Kanye just needed a talking piece. Like, yo, someone's gotta tell him. It can't be me. Someone's gotta tell this dude, chill out. We were just bullshitting.
Another 1,000,001 question segment in the books for the Causeway Street Podcast, NBA Finals Edition. Sean Dutra, when are you coming back, man? What's going on?
Yeah, next episode we're cranking it out, man. Let's do it.
Yo, once you
Back
clear
live.
waivers, we'll let you know when you can officially come back.
All right, man. I mean, hey, where's Hanley? Has Hanley been signed? I mean, I'm gonna go fucking be DFA'd in with him.
You guys can just kick it together before you guys make your sign your next
Now
deal.
that's someone I want to party with.
Yeah,
Hanley.
Hanley and the Dominican. Whew, talk about the amounts of slap ass going on there, man. From the Dominican,
I play baseball
slap ass.
and I love slap ass.
Yo, you know what? I'm gonna go with the same three, except give me
Wait, what are we talking about?
Clay-
Oh, the partying? Okay.
give me Klay Thompson.
Oh,
Give me Klay
that's a
Thompson.
good one,
Yeah,
man. That's
yeah,
a good
pound and bruise. Klay Thompson,
Crush him.
Klay Thompson, Swaggy P, J.R. Smith. Oh, we kicking it. We're chilling.
one. See, I think I may sub out Swaggy P for Klay Thompson because you still need muscle. Let's be honest. Like you need.
Yeah.
I feel like Swaggy though would like get you some trouble. Like,
Well, if
Yeah.
we're talking muscle, then heck, give me Tristan Thompson and them chicks that he's gonna be.
Nah,
he's
you
gonna
don't
have
want
on
the, you don't
deck.
want the paparazzi, bro. You don't want the paparazzi like that. You
yeah,
want
everyone knows what.
Oh, they're gonna
like.
follow him around, right? I'm just thinking about his side pieces. He probably got some couple chicks on deck. A couple girls gonna come kick it.
Love
That's
side pieces.
That's actually true. Strippers would definitely be willing to
Yeah.
kick it with you just
Right.
because like so what happened to the last one.
And then when they strike out on Tristan, they're like, "Oh, who's this Joe Sway guy?" That's just me though.
Yeah.
How I look at it. All right. Well,
Well,
get out that window of fantasy. Sean,
that's a good
next week, bro.
turn.
We're back. The three of us.
Bring your green hat.
Sounds good.
Are we gonna go run through the quad after?
We're running through the quad.
All right.
And hopefully KFC is still open. Hey, Sean, we appreciate you coming through, man. Obviously, we'll see you next week.
Popeyes.
Sean Dutra, Causeway Street. Good stuff,
Later.
man.
Yo, say what up to Jordan and Paula for us.
Yes.
All right. We'll
Say what up to him.
That was good.
All right, later.
All right, later, bro.
Oh, man, good time talking to Sean. Good stuff.
It's been a while.
Always entertaining, especially when he's been, not on the podcast for the last few weeks. So he's had all that boiled up. But let's wrap things up the way we do every single episode here at the Causeway Street Podcast with just enough time for
In case you missed it.
In case you missed it, we got a update.
What's
If
up.
If you hadn't heard already, Brian Colangelo, Philadelphia 76ers have parted ways. Oh, like we didn't see that one coming?
Got fired. Okay.
No, Sway. 76ers put out a statement. Mr. Colangelo resigned as the GM of the 76ers.
Yeah, it's what you do when you're about to get fired. Is what that is, all right?
No.
The team's on the verge of making that push to the Eastern Conference Finals. On the verge of trying to get LeBron or Paul George or whatever big free agent is out there. And he conveniently just says, yeah, before you guys fire me, I quit. No, I'm not fired. I quit. That's what he did.
No. I mean, they probably agreed. It's like a mutual agreement. And the Sixer goes, yeah, you're done. But we'll let you save face and say you resigned. But it's a wrap for you. And he's like, understood. And
Did he close his accounts?
pretty much what resulted in this investigation by the Sixers, even though Brian's wife, Barbara, admitted that she opened the accounts, a.k.a. took the fault
Yeah,
for
seriously.
her husband.
She's like, I don't even watch basketball. I
After
don't even know what Twitter is.
After these accounts were criticizing the team and revealing, sensitive information, yada, 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 at the investigation by the Sixers resulted in, despite of his wife admitting to opening up these accounts, but they couldn't prove if Brian knew about the accounts or not. So, well, that's that. In case you missed it, Kevin Durant. We talked a little about Kevin earlier in the episode, but for those who think that the Celtics might have a little chat with him in the offseason, got to cancel that, because Durant has told ESPN, in particular, Sway's girl, Rachel Nichols, that he'll be re-signing with the Golden State Warriors this summer.
My ex-girl. Yeah, no shocker here, obviously.
Yeah. Now, Durant's in the middle of finishing his first year of, if you can believe this, a discounted 2-year, $51 million deal,
Jeez.
which has an opt-out clause after the Warriors win the championship. And that is it for
In case you missed it.
not a lot going on right now in the association.
So wait a minute. You don't see an epic comeback coming here? You're not going to fire off 4 in a row? A la 04 Red Sox? No?
Listen, man.
This ain't the one?
The only way the Cavaliers win this series, if Durant gets kidnapped. Steph Curry all of a sudden turns into Markelle Fultz and forgets how to shoot, and Draymond Green gets suspended on some conspiracy, like they find out that he's been kicking people in the balls on purpose. That's the only way.
So you're talking about a little like Celtics pride / like Space Jam type thing going on here, right? Where people lose their skill and you got kidnappings happening to the best player.
No, I'm just talking about Markelle Fultz, like the way he literally forgot how to shoot. That would happen to Steph Curry. He just like he'd get the ball and he just like underhand it from the 3-point line, and then everyone's like, "Wait, what?" That's the only way. And if that happened in Game 4, everyone would just assume, "Oh, they just want to win it on their home court in Game 5." But if that kept happening, or something to that extent in Game 5, they'd be like, "What the hell's going on?" Like, then it'd just be a serious allegations of Adam Silver plotting to, I don't know, what do you want to call this? Like, remember the Black Sox?
Stretch the series
So
out?
it'd be like the black Cavs. I don't know, what do you want to call this?
Yeah, Shoeless Joe, man. He was a baller.
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
Then we got to find a field where a cornfield where there's a basketball court. Or we got to build one because if we build it, they will come.
J.R. Smith would be the shoeless Joe.
And then this series would probably go like game 9.
This is the last game LeBron James plays in Cleveland as a member of the Cavaliers.
For like 90% of the regular season, like I would have said no. But I mean, just look at the Cavs right now, though. I mean, you would think like,
how do you fix that? That's the thing.
Yeah, you would think
you got money towards JR. You got money towards Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
You got money towards, of course, Kevin Love. I mean, it's just so much of a jam financially.
They're still on like
that. It's just hard to flip any of those guys I just mentioned and try to build off of that. I mean, those trades that they pulled off at the deadline was the absolute best you could do with what you got. So it's like you go into the offseason, how do you even improve on that when pretty much none of those guys have really wowed you, minus maybe George Hill a bit, you know?
But I mean,
whereas you can make a deal and try to strengthen this core.
No, but he's locked in. Well, I think he's got a player option. Well, I don't know why the Kings did this, but I think they signed him for 2 years at $40 million. So George Hill's making $20 million this year, folks. So if he does have an opt-in, why wouldn't he not opt in to stay in Cleveland, even though Cleveland's going to be pretty bad next year if LeBron were to leave? So to answer your question, I think he leaves. And I don't know why or how this is going to happen, but I think he goes to Houston. Somehow they pull it off. I don't know what. They have all summer. Well, not all summer, but they got a few more weeks to convince Chris Paul, like, bro, you're making enough money with State Farm. Why do you need more from the Houston Rockets?
Do you remember what happened at the tail end of the Western Conference Finals?
You know what else? Say the Houston Rockets did make it to the finals. What would have happened without Chris Paul?
Yeah,
Chris Paul wouldn't have played.
Isn't that LeBron James's banana boat buddy? I mean, couldn't they come to a sort of an agreement or have a conversation where it's like, listen, just take what you can. I'll come through. We'll figure this thing out. And I think that's honest. I honestly think this is a possibility. I still got Philly. That's my thing. That's my prediction. I've been saying that for like last 3 weeks now. But I think Houston is almost right there. But of course, they have to figure out the money situation. They have to figure out what's going to happen with Chris Paul. In my opinion, Clint Capella, as important as he is, or as he was this past season, he's out. I mean, it's a team out there that's going to throw him $20 million, and he's done. He's gone. But you bring LeBron James, obviously you put yourself in a situation to not only compete against the Golden State Warriors, but you can actually win a title with the team of James Harden, LeBron James, whatever you get left out of Chris Paul, and the rest of that core. You fill out that roster, and you're in good shape. But another guy who's making way more money than we thought that he would, especially in this day and age with the type of season that he just put together. That's Ryan Anderson. That's $20 million right there that you have to try to figure out how you're going to part ways with that. What team can pick that up? That puts him in a jam. You're not going to be able to trade him. So all of a sudden now you're stuck with trying to tell Chris Paul to take a minimum. You're trying to get LeBron James to take a pay cut because let's face it.
It's too much, man. Too many factors going into
Let's face it. In Cleveland, if he were to stay put, that's the most money he can make out of any other team.
Well, do you remember when the Celtics got KG? He was what, 31? I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 10 years ago around this time. Do you remember those who were infatuated with Al Jefferson? Mm-hmm. Al Jefferson, I think was barely like 21, 22 at the time. And they're like, oh, you're getting though he's an all-star and a former MVP, you're getting a guy that's almost 10 years older. How much realistically are you going to squeeze out of him? Yada, yada, yada. Chris Paul is 33. He's going to be 34 next year.
And he's a guard.
With
a
long
list of injuries.
As great of a shooter that he is, you can't just pay him $30 million plus just to be a shooter. You need him to lead your team. So he's already said, I'm looking for the max. This is my last deal because he said I left money on the table to leave the Clippers, opt into my clause that I had to see how we would get things done in Houston. 1 game away from the finals. Even though he didn't play in the last 2 games, and he missed more than 20 games during the regular season, but he still wants his money. So I don't know what's going to happen in Houston, really. But I mean, it could be like you said, it could be at the point where they're like, no, we're gonna throw our money at LeBron. See you later, Paul. Oh no, I think it was Sean that said it. Like, go figure out what you're gonna do with your life, Chris Paul, and Harden's already your guard. But how does James work in this running gun shooting threes? He's not a great 3-point shooter, never has been. So I don't know. Who knows? But if he leaves the East, great. I don't know about the Lakers though. I don't know why. I can't see it happening. When LeBron going to Lakers or the Clippers. The only Western Conference team I see him going to is Houston. If he stays in the East, Cleveland, obviously. I'm still having a hard time with Philly because they don't have shooters. And you need to surround Braun with shooters.
All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap up this episode of the Causeway Street Podcast. You know where to find us, of course. And until next week, when Sean Dutra will be back, the NBA Finals will be wrapped up, if you ask me. It'll be all said and done in 5. I give Cleveland 1 game. I may be wrong. I'm thinking I'm probably wrong, but
bro, it's done already, man.
Give them 5.
They wrapped it up in 3. It's done. Congratulate them already.
The guys show up, man.
The parade's coming.
This is going to be the thank you LeBron night. Okay, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for the title. Thank you for the memories. We'll miss you, buddy. And
again,
it'll be a win. It'll be a win.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he ultimately
Cleveland will win, and everybody will be like, "Yeah, this is great. Maybe we have a shot." And then those dreams will be shot in Game 5.
If he ultimately leaves Cleveland, it's on Dan Gilbert, in my opinion. Even though LeBron was the one that convinced them to re-sign Tristan Thompson and J.R. Smith for $80+ million, and you're stuck with him. So, whatever. Make sure you head over to CausewayStreet.com for all your latest reports and rumors on the Celtics offseason. You can also check out a piece about some free agents that the Celtics should be looking at, or could be looking at, like on the cheap. Someone that can help a championship contender.
You don't have Durant on there?
No. I had him on there, but I had to take him off.
Okay.
So, I'm kidding. No, it's just like 1 or 2 year type deals. Mid-level exceptions or mini mid-level exceptions type deals. You know, because what if Celtics can't sign Aaron Baines? You got to replace him with somebody, right? So, again, check us out on CausewayStreet.com. Check us out on Twitter @CausewayStreet. And subscribe, baby, to that iTunes.
All right, we out here.